Sahih al-Bukhari, volume number 5, translated by Dr. Muhammad Mohsen Khan, published by Dar al-Salam at the year 1997 in Saudi Arabia. Page number 60, hadith number 3730. The Prophet ﷺ sent an army under the command of Osamah ibn Zaid. When some people criticized his leadership, the Prophet ﷺ said, if you are criticizing Osama's leadership, you used to criticize his father's leadership before. So they criticized his leadership. The Nabi ﷺ received the very complaint that was expected, because when you're appointing someone whose father is an ex-slave, his family is not superbly rich, he is not coming from the elite families of the Arabia, and in no way himself is any military genius, and you appoint him as commander over other Arabs who are in every way, they themselves regard themselves bigger and greater and senior than Osama, then you're going to receive complaints. So what was the reaction of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam to these complaints? Did he accept these complaints? Did he approve these complaints? No, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam rejected these complaints. That you are criticizing him, and before him you used to criticize his father. By Allah, he was worthy of leadership and was one of the dearest persons to me, and this Osama is one of the dearest ones to me. So, according to this narration, according to us Shia, Osama was not one of the dearest persons to the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But the Umaris consider him so. So, Osama, being such a person, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam affirmed his command, affirmed his appointment, and considered him worthy of the position of being a commander. I'll show you some more narrations from the Arabic version. I'll translate myself. This is Bukhari, published by Dar Turath al-Arabi at the year 2001. Hadith number 4250, very similar to the hadith that I showed to you. Ibn Umar narrates, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam appointed Osama as commander over a number of people. فَطَعَنُوا فِي إِمَارَتِهِ. They criticized this appointment of him as the commander. Bali Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that it's very same exact narration that I read to you just now, that if you are criticizing his appointment as commander, before him you criticize his father as well. And then hadith number 4469, again the same thing, same narration from Abdullah ibn Omar. So Bukhari narrates this hadith over and over again. This is the book of Sahih Muslim by Muslim ibn Hajjaj al-Qushayri al-Naysaburi, published by Darul Fiqh year 2003, hadith number 2426, page 1207, from Abdullah ibn Omar, a hadith that is very similar to the hadith in Bukhari, almost identical, that the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, وَإِن كَانَ خَلِيقًا لِلْأَمَرَى. You criticize his father before him, and he was worthy of the position of commandership. So, this is not only that we interpret this matter, that the appointment of Osama as the commander of the army was a matter of belittlement for those Sahaba. It's also this affirmation by Sahaba themselves, by companions themselves. Their complaint reaches the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam rejects their criticism that this is a correct decision that I have appointed Osama as your commander. So, and how this is a deficiency in the character of Abu Bakr and Omar. It's very obvious. If Osama, a teenager with no extraordinary military experience, and in no way he is superior to other Muslims in knowledge or piety or any other way, if he is if he is appointed commander over Abu Bakr and Umar, this is an act of belittlement and indignation with regard to Abu Bakr and Umar. And this is coming from who? From Allah, from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in attabi'u illa ma yuha ilay. Quran says, tell them that I do not follow except that which Allah has sent to me as wahi, to me as revelation. So he does only, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam does only that which Allah commands him to do. So this act of belittlement is not only from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This act of belittlement is also from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So to consider Abu Bakr low and lower than many ordinary Muslims and consider him not worthy of leadership is something that has come from Allah and something from His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And this is exactly how Abu Bakr himself used to feel in front of Osamah. Let me show you some narrations in this respect. This is the book of Tarikh al-Tabari, Al-Ma'ruf bi-Tarikh al-Umam wal-Muluk, volume number 3, published by مؤسسة العالم للمطبوعات. Many Muslim scholars believe that the history of Tabari, Tarikh al-Tabari, is the most authentic and most reliable book of Islamic history. And this book was published at the year 1418, 1998, in Beirut, Lebanon. At page number 88, it's about when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has passed away and Abu Bakr has become caliph. He dispatches the expedition of Osamah. He asks them to march to the Roman frontiers. And it mentions that how Abu Bakr came to escort Osamah outside Medina. And Osamah was riding, and Abu Bakr was on foot. And Osamah told him that either you have to ride, or I'm going to dismount and I'm going to walk on foot again, like you. But Abu Bakr said, no, you must stay mounted and I'm going to walk on foot. So this shows that Abu Bakr was showing humility before Osamah, because as leader of the Muslim state, as Khalifa, as the king, he, as caliph, as head of the state, he should be riding. He should be riding. He is a higher position than Osamah. However, he decides to walk, and Osamah is riding. And Umaris, of course, will mention that this is because Abu Bakr was seeing himself as humble. Show me a humility like this from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Did ever Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam escort an army outside Medina, and he walked himself and he made the Sahaba, or at least the leader of the excursion, to be riding? It's not happened. So humility, and the reason that Abu Bakr mentions that why he's walking is also ridiculous. And inshallah tabarak wa ta'ala, I'll read that to you from the English translation of Tarikh al-Tabari. The History of al-Tabari, volume number 9, translated by Fred M. Donner, The Conquest of Arabia. Volume number 10, my apologies. Published by University of New York Press, State University of New York Press. Page number 15. Then Abu Bakr went out until he reached the camp of Osamah. He made them go forth. He asked them to leave, go. And he followed after them on foot, while Osamah was riding, and Abdurrahman ibn Auf led Abu Bakr's mount. Abu Bakr's horse or his camel or his donkey or his pony was there, but he would not ride it. Abdurrahman ibn Auf was leading it. Osama said to Abu Bakr, by God, O Caliph of Apostle of God, either you ride or I shall dismount. Abu Bakr said, by God, don't dismount, nor by God, I will ride. So he is not going to ride. Why? Is it an act of humility? So why is Abu Bakr being subservient and humble to a teenager? Because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had appointed him as his commander. Because he felt that indignation, that humility, that subservience, that low grade in himself vis-a-vis Osamah ibn Zaid. And then he says, it will not hurt me. Abu Bakr gives another reason why he doesn't want to walk, why he doesn't want to mount. It will not hurt me to get my 2 feet dusty for an hour in God's way, but for each step the warrior takes, 700 beauties are destined for him, and 700 steps are made visible to him, and 700 sins are lifted from him. But look, if this is a narration from the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, each step a warrior takes, 700 beauties and 700 steps and 700 sins are lifted. This is for who? For a warrior. When did you ever see in history that Abu Bakr was a warrior? When did you ever see that Abu Bakr killed someone or he waved his sword at someone? Never. And he is not going to war, Abu Bakr. This doesn't apply to him because he has come to escort the army and he is going to go back to his house. Abu Bakr is not going for war. Abu Bakr has come and walked a few steps and he is quoting this thing. He doesn't mention this is a hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam or he's something else. So if this is a warrior should be walking, if that's what he means, then Osama should be walking, not him. Because he's not the warrior. He's not the one going to the battlefield. Osama is going. At any rate, this portion, the steps of a warrior, all of this, this does not apply to Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr said to Osama, if you think you might help me out by lending me the services of Omar, then do so. Don't take Omar with you. So Osama gave him permission to do that. This again, if you are the leader, if you're not subservient to Osama, why you're asking permission from Osama? Why you are asking permission from Osama? That you should say, okay, I'm the caliph, this army is going, you are my general, you have no right to take Omar with you. Why is he asking permission of Osama? Because Osama was his commander. Osama was superior to him. Therefore, he is asking permission in this manner. And this language of humility of Abu Bakr and Omar with regard to Osama has come in several other occasions. Have a look at this. Kitabu Jam' al-Jawami al-Ma'ruf bil-Jami' al-Kabir, the grandest, the biggest, the most comprehensive encyclopedia of Umari ahadith, written by Abdurrahman al-Suyuti. He has encompassed all ahadith in the Umari denomination in this book that was known to him. So perhaps he has not left any hadith out of this compilation. Volume number 14, and he has compiled the ahadith in a chronological فإنه لا غنى بنا عنه. There's nothing we can do without Omar. We need Omar badly. Wallahi ma adri yaf'alu Osama am la. By God, I don't know whether Osama is going to agree to this request or not. Maybe Osama says, no, Omar has to come with us. Wallahi in aba la ukrihu. If he refuses to let Omar stay behind, I will not coerce him. وَمَشَى Abu Bakr. And then Abu Bakr goes to the house of Osama. فَكَلَّمَهُ فِي أَنْ يَتْرُكَ Omar. and talks to him that please allow Omar to stay behind. ففعل أسامة. Osama agrees. وجعل يقول أذنت ونفسك طيبة. And he began saying. He didn't say once. He began saying. So it means he said like 2-3 times. أذنت ونفسك طيبة. Did you give permission, sir? Are you happy, sir? Abu Bakr says this to a teenager. Why? Because he is his commander. That's why. Because he feels small. He feels subservient. He feels to be an underling to Osama. أذنت ونفسك طيبة. You permitted us, sir, and you feel fine. You feel happy. فقال أسامة نعم. Osama said yes. And then look at the Sharh of Nahj al-Balagha, commentary on Nahj al-Balagha by Ibn Abi al-Hadid, who is not Shia, who is a Omari, and a very staunch Omari, and a very knowledgeable defender, and a very influential defender of Abu Bakr and Omar. And he defends Abu Bakr and Omar in a much more knowledgeable way than Ibn Taymiyyah. Anybody who reads his Sharh of Nahj al-Balagha and compares it to the book of Minhaj al-Sunnah of Ibn Taymiyyah knows that Ibn Abi al-Hadid is at a much higher level of knowledge than Ibn Taymiyyah, and his defense is much more effective and influential than Ibn Taymiyyah's blatant lies time and again. Sharh Nahj al-Balagha Ibn Abi al-Hadid, volume number 6, published by Isa al-Babi wa Halabi wa Shurakaihi in Egypt at the year 1959. Page number 52. He narrates فما كان أبو بكر وعمر. He narrates فما كان أبو بكر وعمر يخاطبان أسامة إلى أن ماتا إلا بالأمير. Abu Bakr and Omar, until their death, until they both died, they would not address Osama except with this title, Amir, commander. They would always address him as commander. That's how they used to address Osama. So, we come back to our main argument. We established that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings forth events that shows pure from impure, sincere from insincere. Allah creates events that helps us make that distinction. The Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the wisest person of all. Number 3, Osama was an ordinary Muslim in every way. Number 4, that the Sahaba admitted that this admission of Sahaba, that appointment of Osama was indeed an act of indignation in relation to them. Number 5, Abu Bakr and Omar, their actions reaffirms that they felt indignation, they felt belittlement, they felt being subservient and under Osama and lower than Osama. Reaffirmed this matter. So, and this belittlement came from whom? From Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And of course, this tahqir, to make a person small, that's Arabic term, to belittle someone, from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is obvious. It's quite serious. And this conveys to us that when a person is belittled in such a manner publicly, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not grooming him for leadership, of course. And he is not giving the Muslims any indication that he supports the idea of them succeeding him as leaders of the Muslim world after his demise. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And thank you very much. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi at-tahirin.